I was trained as a electrical engineer, so I didn't have really any medical background. I mean, I took first aid and CPR stuff like that, but I'm definitely not a doctor. However, I can read. And so I read up on all this stem cell technology because I heard a lot about stem cells and that there was some good things that it was doing, but the only person that I knew that had stem cell injections didn't have real good results. He was spending tens of thousands of dollars and still having pain. And so I started looking into it after I heard about this patch. And what I found out is the same thing many other people have found out, that this patch is way better, in my humble opinion, and you'll hear some doctors back this up, than injecting somebody else's stem cells or taking the stem cells out of your body and then putting them in a centrifuge and injecting them back in. Why do we need stem cells? Because stem cells make up all the good things in our body. They're like in every organ in our body. They help us feel youthful and energetic and look younger in our skin and joints, all that stuff. Here's what happens. As we age, as a natural part of aging, our stem cells, they don't leave our body, they go dormant. Okay, so by the time we're 30, like Amy here, by the time we're 30, our stem cells, we're down to about 50% of our stem cells are active. By the time we're 60, we're down to less than 10% of our stem cells are active. Okay. Amy's actually not 30. She's 29. Trying to get some brownie points here.
You're saying you're making up for your first government.
Yeah. So what's happening? These stem cells are going dormant. This is what's causing the aches and pains and creaks, and those of you that work out, the lack of performance, and I just can't run like I used to, or my workouts aren't the same. Amy can talk a little bit about that. So the answer out there is just go get stem cell injections. And now we're not promoting stem cell injections. And I'm going to play a video here in just a second, and you can listen to a doctor and see how long they actually last. But the stem cell injection industry, they say it'll cure pains and illnesses and Parkinson's and cancer and arthritis and dementia, all these different things that they say stem cell injections will help with. Well, the problem is stem cell injections only work for a very small portion of people. There's a medical doctor in Naples, Florida. His name's Dr. Leland Stillman. So he's a trained licensed MD, and trained licensed MDs, they kind of think one way, okay? And if a doctor doesn't know about this patch, it doesn't mean he's a bad doctor, he or she's a bad doctor, it just means they probably don't understand it yet. So he researched all things stem cell injections and red light therapy and all this stuff, and he recommends this technology, this little patch we're going to talk about tonight, to all of his patients. And he does not recommend stem cell injections anymore. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And he's made some recordings and different things for us. So this next video I want to show you, and then we'll be done talking about injections. I might mention it once more at the end. This doctor here, for context, I found this video online on YouTube. This doctor is promoted. So he's an MD. His name's Dr. Eric White. So he's a trained, licensed MD. Probably does pretty well. He's also a plastic surgeon, but he does stem cell therapy, okay? Stem cell injections. And so this is a guy, keep this in mind as your framework as you listen to what he's telling you. He makes a living off injecting stem cells, okay? And he's going to tell you how long they last, which isn't very long. They're actually not, stem cell injections are not designed to last long term. So here's a guy, a doctor, that's going to tell you they won't last long term. And then we're going to tell you the solution to get your own stem cells to come back to life, okay? So the question was posed to him, how long do stem cell injections last? Listen to what this doctor says.
Many people ask how long stem cells last. That's a tough question, to answer. The Duke study showed that benefits were found starting at about 1 month and then going up to 6 and then plateauing. Stem cells are kind of immunologically privileged, but the more they work, the more they start to express something called HLA antigens. And then the body picks them up as foreign and eliminates them. The stem cells are never designed to live long term in your body. They're designed to signal your body to heal itself, start the healing process, and then go away.
And that's exactly what they do. So enter the X39 patch. This is what we're going to be talking about tonight.
So this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a sticker. but it does way more than a sticker. It's about the size of a quarter, and just peel it off, and then we'll show you where this is basically what it looks like, and we'll get into more how you wear it, where to wear it.
Proof of what it does, all that stuff.
Yes,
We're going to go
exactly.
through all that with you. But it is the technical term for it is photobiomodulation. All of us have probably heard of red light therapy. Maybe our parents told us when we were growing up, go outside and get some sun. The sun will give you vitamin D. How many have heard that one? The sun actually does not give us vitamin D. There's nothing in the sun coming down to our body. What the sun does is it stimulates a certain cholesterol in our skin. That produces a vitamin D. So red light therapy is very popular right now. The guy that invented this technology, his name is David Schmidt. So David Schmidt is a serial inventor. Like, he's a scientist inventor. That's all he does. He's wicked smart. I've actually seen videos of him with a whole panel of doctors that he's educating, not just on photobiomodulation, but on basically how the human body works and how red light therapy works in the body. He's educating these doctors. It's pretty awesome. So this guy has 200 patents to his name. Now, if you don't understand what a patent is, let me break it down for you real quick. A patent is granted by the government to say nobody else can make this product for a period of time because it's so special and so unique. For instance, the iPhone would have a patent on it. Certain parts of the iPhone, nobody else can make it. You can't copy that, reverse engineer it, etc., because it may have run out by now, but I don't know. So the patent on this product still has about 17 years left on it. It was initially a 20-year patent, and they'll reapply for an extension, okay? 55 to 65% of patents are actually issued. This is a key point. I've heard people say, I don't know where they get this, but, oh, you can just get a patent. It's not actually that easy to get a patent. Let me give you an idea. So this little pill right here, this is actually a Motrin 800, but if you went to the FDA, or excuse me, the patent office, and you said, I want to get a patent on this pill right here. I made this pill, and what it does is it cures migraines. Well, they're not just going to give you a patent. They're going to make you give medical studies, double-blind placebo test, peer-reviewed, all that stuff. It's a long, drawn-out process. Then when you prove that this pill that you invented actually cures migraines, then they might consider issuing the patent. David Schmidt went through that. He went through 10 years of medical studies and $4.5 million of his own money to create this little X39 patch. Sent all the medical studies and the clinical tests and all these different things to the patent office with the application, and the patent was granted on the first go around. Some of you have seen products that say patent pending on them. What that means is almost. We didn't quite get the patent. And they might get outright rejected, or they could get approved, but they needed more information. So David Schmidt got this approved the first time, which is really cool. Little technical difficulty there, sorry. So here's the actual patent that was issued in 2020, okay? I'm not going to read the whole, this patent is several pages long. Let's just read a little excerpt. So if we go in this paragraph here, go about halfway down. And what it says is, let's pick up after the human body. As a result of elevating copper peptide, that's a key point. If you don't elevate the copper peptide, I believe this is why, and a lot of doctors say this is why stem cell injections don't work, is because if we don't elevate the copper peptide, you can inject all the stem cells you want and they'll probably die off. That's what's happening. That's why stem cell injections don't work for most people. So as a result of elevating the copper peptide, that's right in the patent, including activation of stem cells. There it is, right in the patent. Improvements in energy, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, collagen production, improved wound healing, etc., etc. All these things we're going to talk about tonight. So the government has said, yes, it does exactly what David Schmidt claimed that it does, okay? And they protected it so nobody else can make it. Now, I'm going to play a quick little video that will show you how this patch works. Think of it as a little mirror. So what's in this patch is actually nanocrystals, some sugars, salts, other organic matters. And what it does is it reflects light back into our body. Well, where's the light come from? Everything in God's creation is emitting infrared light or frequency or both. Everything that's living. Human beings emit frequency and infrared light. if you've ever seen a military movie or anybody's been in the military, you use night vision goggles. Night vision goggles are actually seeing infrared. That's what's being put off. So when they see somebody through a wall or at night far away in a field, they're seeing the infrared light. Hunters use the same technology for hunting at night. Okay, so keep that in mind as you watch this. This is about 1 minute and 48 seconds long, and then we'll be back to talk. This is astounding what David Schmidt has figured out. Check this out.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally.
So how, I always have to remember, I'm right after that. So how it works is it's a proprietary form of phototherapy, patented nanocrystal technology, which you kind of heard Tim talk about. No drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. It reflects light to activate, which you just saw in that video. It's non-transdermal, non-invasive, so it's not putting anything into your body. All it's doing is reflecting light to activate those stem cells.
So they put stem cells in this little patch, and stem cells go in my body. Is that what happened?
It's reflecting light to activate your own stem cells.
Yeah.
So nothing is going into your body.
We say that several times because it is hard to get our minds around sometimes. So actually, technically what it's doing is it's stimulating copper peptide. The copper peptide comes to life, and then it brings your stem cells back to life. So this is way better. What this is doing is, remember when you were a kid and you could fall off a bike, you're 6 years old, you could fall off a bike and bounce off the concrete and you're fine in 15 minutes. It's bringing that ability back. It's getting your body working back when you used to have a lot of stem cells in your body. So, if you think about if an 85-year-old person falls off that same bike like at half the speed, it's going to be a bad deal. They'll probably break their hip, break their knee, whatever. I mean, it's just as we age, that's what happens.
So these are just some of the benefits of the X39. Increased strength, reduced inflammation, which we hear a lot about reduced inflammation. I've even had that the day after my workouts. Increased stamina, energy and vitality, which that's one of my testimonies is within the first few days, I had a difference in my energy. Like I didn't have that 2 or 3 o'clock crash like I used to get. It's like just this full energy all day. Mental clarity, restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improved sleep, which we hear a lot. You have a great testimony on that, and improved skin appearance.
Yeah. So Amy works out like 6 days a week. Typically she does this crazy hour and a half long, like
It's not that long.
Well, whatever. It's a long time. It's forever. Seems like she's up there forever. So she has more energy, and then you mentioned better.
The inflammation the next day after a workout is way low.
So recovery is better.
Recovery is better.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a better way to say it.
Yeah. So inflammation affects a lot of things in our body. Okay. I didn't even know that sleep was something that this patch could help with. So after 4 days, before I even saw this slide or any of this information, I just started trying the patch. And after 4 days, I slept 8 hours. And I remember waking up after 8 hours. I thought, holy cow, I missed half the day. And that might not sound impressive to most people, but I haven't slept more than 5 hours in 5 years, like sometimes 3 or 4 hours, And so I can sleep 8 hours regularly now. And part of the reason is I'm not getting up to go to the restroom 3 times a night. So I'm 57, and I've been taking 3 prostate supplements a day for years now and still getting up and going to the restroom at night. Now, if you're not 57 and old and you don't have prostate problems, you can turn it out just for a second here. But sorry, ladies, anybody over probably 45, 50, you could start having this issue. I'll just say this now. I don't take any prostate supplements, and I rarely have to get up and go to the restroom at night. Most nights I go right through the night, and I just don't have to go. Now you know my bathroom habits, but it is important because that affects your sleep.
It does.
You know, so that was the inflammation in my prostate. So it helps with all that stuff. Pretty awesome.
And really, like, if you don't have any major issues, you feel really healthy, it's still something that you're going to want to use, because I didn't really have any major areas that I was concerned about. I just feel overall better. And I like that I'm preventing anything from coming into my body.
Yeah.
It's preventing
You look, you keep feeling young. Right?
Yeah. And it prevents any disease or anything like that. So I think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So within the first few weeks, 4,000 genes begin to reset. The brain becomes more balanced, which you'll see a slide on that on a 77-year-old woman, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a map on that. Collagen increases and the heart reverses in age, which is amazing that they can say that.
Yeah. So David Schmidt, the CEO of this company, says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly with the heart, they did some studies, heart wall thickness tests and blood flow, blood gas, all that stuff. And they determined the heart actually reverses in age.
Mm-hmm.
We are required to say this is not intended to treat, cure, mitigate any kind of disease or condition. There we go. I said it. What we'd like you to do is y'all do the math. And I'll just say this. This isn't a left or a right thing. I'm old enough to remember when you could watch a football game on TV and there wasn't, 10 drug commercials on there. And so is it possible that drug companies are influencing things in our government? And they want you to take a drug for this and that and that and that. And because you got this drug that you took for your knee makes your blood pressure higher. So now you got to take a blood pressure thing, which gives you a headache. Now you take another one. People end up on 10 drugs. What if you could just get your body working correctly again? That would be something. So they did this. Remember, all these medical studies were done over a 10-year period. This lady was 77 years old, and to be involved with this particular study, 2 criteria had to be true. One, you had to have some kind of cognitive challenge, like you couldn't remember things or put words together, something like that. And then number 2, you couldn't be on any kind of drugs or stimulants. Okay, so they did that. She's actually a Pilates instructor in pretty good shape otherwise. Mm-hmm. So you can see in session 1, they did a topography scan, brain scan, and you can see red is inflammation, not good. Red is never good. Inflammation is not good, right? So then they put the patch on the back of her neck. So X39 is one patch right at the base of her neck. And at 3 weeks, you can see she's doing a lot better. At 6 weeks, total turnaround, better brain coherence, and she's doing a lot better. So that's pretty cool. There's some proof for you.
So here's how you're going to wear it. You wear it for 12 hours, 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So say, like, I get up about 7:30 in the morning, between 7 and 7:30. I get up, it's near my toothbrush and all my other morning routines, and I put it on and I'm going to take it off again in the evening, like 7:30ish. You only wear it for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So the best place, if you can see on this slide here, is between the shoulder blades on the back of the neck or below the belly button. Those are the best, as you can see on this map here, where the red is. Those are the best areas for.
That's where the infrared light's coming out. Yeah.
To activate.
Yeah.
So you need that 12 hours off for your body to repair and rejuvenate. So wearing the patch any longer than 12 hours doesn't do any more. You actually need that time off. So the next day you're going to put on a new patch. You can wear multiple patches at a time. Say if you get up in the morning, you put your patch on 7:30ish. As the day goes on, your hand hurts, your wrist hurts, something, you can put a patch on that area.
Or your knee or whatever, yeah. What if my knee hurts and I'm a cheapskate?
You can just move the patch.
I can just put it on my knee. You can wear just one on your knee.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
You do want to stay hydrated, drink a lot of water.
You will need to drink water. And what's necessitating the water is all the copper peptides that are being stimulated in your body.
You'll be thirsty anyways.
So the most common thing we see, if people aren't getting a result with it, we ask them, are you drinking lots of water? Oh yeah, I drink iced tea all day. Iced tea is not water. Iced tea is actually a diuretic. Diet Coke for sure is a diuretic. You want to drink good old fashioned water. That's what you want to drink. Okay. So drink more than you usually do. and that will help flush all the toxins out of your body. It doesn't hurt. You typically don't feel anything other than good things. You'll start to feel good things. So the question we ask is, have you been patched yet? And I like to say, as we show some of these pictures, the proof is in the pudding out of the patch. So you're going to see some different things, and I'm going to ask my beautiful assistant here to describe some of these. Amy was she worked for a major cosmetic company for 10 years, and she developed her own skincare line. And I would say she's a skincare devotee, junkie, professional, whatever you want to call her. Some of you guys know this. They got drawers and drawers of this stuff, and I don't even think she knows what it all does, but she knows what most of it does. So anyhow,
It's a lot of testing.
Yeah. So this first young lady here is 93 years old. So tell us what we're looking at, honey.
Well, I mean, her skin it really looks like it should be reversed before and after, but her fine lines are significantly decreased. They're less deep. I mean, her cheeks and
I don't
her
think
neck,
fine lines are they? They're deep lines.
They're
I don't know how you
deep,
tell the
yes.
difference, but yeah.
but they're significant. Like, she looks great.
And she still looks like an older lady, but she looks like she's 83. So she
Yeah.
wore the patch less than a year. That's less than a year. No injections, no creams,
Right.
no nothing. Just wearing the patch. So it made a big difference there. And here's another one. This one's only 3 months.
The same one. I mean, in the first picture, she doesn't have makeup on. In the second one, she does. But still, you can see a significant change in her skin that probably, I mean, just from my experience, I'm not an expert, but topical creams can't give those kind of results, especially on her neck.
Yeah. And then the guy there,
The sun damage is lightened quite a bit.
yeah, almost totally gone.
Yeah,
What a difference.
her sunspots. This one is significant on her neck and her chest. That is serious age reversing right there. Yeah, like I said, to get a topical cream to do that, I don't know of one. In just her face,
Yeah.
like the lines around her eyes are significant.
Yeah, when I look at like her neck and her chest, particularly her chest, I just think that looks younger, like just younger.
Yep.
Sometimes when people get stuff done, you can tell that they had stuff done. It just doesn't match the rest of her body. I'll just leave it at that. And I'm not against that. I'm just saying, what if you could use this and actually reverse
Right.
your own appearance? Pretty cool. So this is a lady, Renita Brandon. She's actually a health coach. She has been for years. So she's all about all things natural. And she blew up this picture so you could see the red inflammation and then also see the sores on her father's leg. This is her father's leg. He's got sugar issues. I'll just leave it at that. We're not allowed to say any kind of disease or whatever, but you all know what I'm probably talking about. So she put 4 patches on his leg, and then 24 hours later, she took that second picture. Pretty amazing.
It is.
How about this one?
Her acne is significantly better. I don't know that a dermatologist could get it to look quite like that. I mean, the scarring is reduced, the redness, the inflammation. I mean, that's inflammation right there that's taken down. I'm happy for her because that's really hard to have that kind of acne at that age,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that this has worked for her.
Absolutely. So she struggled with it for years, I'm told, and this is just a few months of wearing the patch.
Mm-hmm.
How about this one?
Much lighter varicose veins, significantly within a matter of 6 weeks, maybe, and it's not even been 2 months. So,
Yeah. And people pay thousands of dollars to get varicose veins injected or worked on or however they do it. But what if you could just wear a patch and get your body working back the way that it's supposed to work? So this next one is actually a friend of mine from Michigan. He's on here. I think I saw him log in. And Ron, I apologize, I got these dates wrong, but Ron's mom is in her. So Ron started using the patch because he had some shoulder issues, and that started getting better. He said, I should try this on my mom. Well, his mom has, the doctors told her, you need to be on dialysis, you have kidney problems, you got liver problems, you got all these different problems, health problems. And she was using a walker to get around the house. Well, at some point in there, she had fallen down, and if you have sugar issues, your wounds typically don't heal well. So this is kind of graphic, but it is very important to show what can happen. And it's not about, you don't have to have a big wound in your body for this to work. That's not the point. The point is it gets your body working better than a lot of things out there. Oops. I thought I had it on here. Maybe I missed that one tonight. So I'll get to that slide in a minute. So this is circulation. All I can say is, ouch, this one looks painful to stand on. 3 days later, look at the difference.
It's crazy.
So that's 3 days.
Wow.
Water retention. This is 3 weeks wearing a patch on the back of her neck. Pretty awesome.
Crazy.
This is one of the commercials I see the most on TV. Any kind of skin condition, you can get this injection or take a pill or whatever. The problem is, if you read the fine print or if you listen to how fast I talk to the end and they tell you all the bad things it'll do to your body, they'll say nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding, and all these different things and suicidal thoughts. And well, you know, I'm severely depressed now, but my skin's cleared up. I mean, it's just crazy to me that people do this. Now, I'm not judging if you use that, but what if you could put this crazy little patch on and it would help? It did with this lady right here. Dry skin is another one. This severe dry skin. This guy struggled with this for years, and this took a few months. It's different for everybody. You know, this is not, I tell people, this is not a Vicodin. You're not going to put the patch on and hear Dreamweaver playing and everything just gets better in a second. You know, for me, when I started using patch, I was 56 years old. You know, my body is 56 years old. So it took 5 weeks for my lower back pain to go away. And it took about 6 weeks for my prostate. And it took about 2.5 months for my eyes and my jaw and a bunch of different things I've seen improve. So it does take a little bit of time. What happens is the stem cells get activated and they go to wherever your body needs them the most. That's how God designed your body. What about this one here?
Well, this is that skin condition, vitiligo, I believe is how you say it. And it's the top guy. I mean, his just 3 months of X39, and there's already significant change on his forehead and around his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And the bottom guy, a year, it looks like it's completely gone after a year.
And there is no cure for it. In the quote unquote medical industry, there's no cure for it. So this guy, you'll see him all over Facebook promoting X39. He's really excited about it, obviously. Look at that difference. So this is wound healing. So this is David Schmidt's son, actually, the guy that invented the patch. He got in a snowboarding accident, and you can see after 5 days, all those abrasions and cuts were gone in 5 days. This is a crazy one here. This lady had a surgery because she had a nerve wrapped around her jugular vein. So they had to open her up. You can see a big incision there. She put 3 patches on her neck. 10 days later, you can't even tell that she really had a surgery. So I think this next slide is the one I was talking about with Ron's mom, who fell, and if I remember it, she hit her leg on a corner of a dresser and a big wound. And so they spent time packing this wound and irrigating it and packing it and irrigating it. And the goal is to try to get it to close up. And they couldn't get it to close up for months. And so what Ron did is he gave his mom some patches. She put one on the back of her neck, one above the wound, one below the wound. And I think in 5 weeks it closed up. So you're looking at that wound, months of not closing up, 5 weeks with the patches, and it closed up. So here's another one. This young boy caught his fingertip in a door and he pulled on it. And when he pulled on it, he about ripped the fingertip off. The dad drags him to the hospital and asked the doctors, can you sew it back on? They said, we really can't because there's too much nerve damage. If we sew it back on, his fingertip will die. The dad begs him to sew it back on. They do, and you can see the doctors were absolutely correct. The fingertip, after they sewed it on, it's totally black. So the dad put a couple patches on the finger, a couple on the hand, so he had localized phototherapy. Again, it's called photobiomodulation, and stimulated this kid's own copper peptides. Got his stem cells working, and look at that wound healing. Pretty awesome. Anybody struggling with any kind of spinal issues? Again, I'm not a spinal surgeon, but I've had lower back problems, L5-S1, and I had back surgery many years ago. And what happens is your spinal cord is supposed to have 2 clear white lines down it, okay? This guy was in a car accident. You can see that first MRI that there's bulges in the spinal cord is kind of jaggy. And what that means in your neck, you're going to have problems with your hands, etc. So this is back in 2018 when they were doing all the testing. sending the patch out to people and doing studies. Well, this was one of the guys. They told him you need a 4-level fusion. He decided not to get the fusion. He used X39 patch instead. 18 months. It took 18 months. Now, if you've ever had a fusion, 18 months ain't that long to wait. I had a lower back fusion. It was not fun. So 18 months later, you can see his spine is totally clear and clean. Now, not intended to treat, cure, mitigate, diagnose any kind of disease or condition, but that guy sure did get lucky wearing the patch. Dogs, cats, horses, you can put the patch on your animals. And look at this dog has a cataract, and then literally 2 days later, how much better it is. It's almost totally gone. It does not have to be right on their skin, by the way. You can stick it on the back of their collar. It's just got to be close. So when people tell me, I need to have my doctor check this thing out, you totally could. Chances are, even if you have the best doctor in the world, they're not going to be familiar with photobiomodulation or phototherapy. Not because they're bad doctors, but probably because when they went to medical school, they weren't teaching this stuff. David Schmidt literally just got the patent on this particular X39. Copper peptides and phototherapy and all that's been studied for years, but David Schmidt has literally mastered it, and the only guy that I know that has all these patents. So Mike Tyson has doctors. He has medical advisors. You can see he's wearing a patch right in the middle of his chest there. And I don't think he was wearing it before the Jake Paul fight. Otherwise, he would have won. Actually, he threw that fight. Okay, then you got all these other athletes. Amy was talking about her recovery time after she works out. So you got David Beckham. You got tennis players and NBA players and NFL players and military people. All these folks are wearing David Schmidt's patches because they work. And they all have medical advisors. Pretty cool. And here's what I tell people. This is creme de la creme. Whether or not you agree with this young man's politics or you like him, beside the point. The guy sitting in the leg press right there, 71 years old. He's in better shape than most 20-year-olds in our country. His name is RFK Jr. He happens to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services for our country. So ultimately, some way, shape, or form, because all the whole medical deal in the whole country, FDA, everybody reports to this guy. Look in the back of his shirt, what's sticking out there. That, in fact, is an X39 patch. He had his staff reach out to David Schmidt, and he asked David Schmidt to be on a stem cell research kind of committee. It was like a really big commitment where David Schmidt wouldn't be able to run his company. So he had to decline to be on that committee. But I think he's offering data and all that stuff and consulting with him. So pretty cool that RFK is on the patch. Okay, now this is how many are in here?
There's 30. It's an envelope.
Yeah, envelope. We call it sleeve.
A sleeve, yes.
Sleeve is just a fancy word for envelope.
It is.
So there's how many in here?
30.
30 patches in here, okay? And here's what we recommend. We recommend everybody try this and place a wholesale order. So we're going to give you an opportunity to do that now. Basically, you get the patches, you try them, okay? And, it might take you 4 days. It might take you 4 months. What the doctors say through the studies is that however many decades you've been alive, it could take that many months to start to get a testimonial. It didn't take me near that long. So I'm 57. It could have taken me 6 months to get a testimonial, but it only took 4 days for the sleep, and a bunch of other things started happening within weeks. So what we recommend is, I like wholesale.
Yes,
I like wholesale. I like to get a good deal. I don't want to pay retail. So if you want to order today from whoever invited you here, they can walk you through that, and you can get a wholesale order for whatever amount of sleeves that you want. We did the advance, which is $535, and they get them for $89 a sleeve. So here's what's so cool about this. I use a sleeve, Amy used a sleeve, and then 4 of our kids. And our son, Cameron, he's 30 years old. He's been in 3 car accidents in 4 years, right? And all of them were rear end, like his car has a magnet or something. So they tried everything with him. Drugs, physical therapy, chiropractic, all these different things for his vertigo. And the only thing that helps with his vertigo is this right here, this patch. Pretty cool. So we did the 535. That's the advance. You can pick any of these. What's probably going to happen is you get the patches. You're going to watch some videos. You're going to say, my next door neighbor's got sugar issues. My cousin's got arthritis, and you're going to want to probably tell some people about it. So whichever of these packs, we'll get back to these in a second, you're comfortable with, we can help you order that tonight. Now, one thing I want to point out, stem cell injections, by comparison, stem cell injections are anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 for localized treatment. It sometimes get up to $50,000, okay, or $99 for this. And David Schmidt, when he got the patent on this, they told him that he could probably get $300 to $400 for this. He said, "No, I want to bless more people." These marketing experts told him $300 to $400. He said, "I want to bless more people. We're going to do $99." They told me he's leaving money on the table. Look at these numbers. You will not see this on the shelf at Walgreens. Why? Because it doesn't make sense until you see the slides. You have to see how this works. Okay, so that's why it's marketed this way. But they did 20 million the first year, and they just had a bunch of doctors and scientists trying to explain it. Then a guy named Stephen Gina Merritt came along, and they created a presentation much like this one. And they did 320 million. The next year, 430 million. Last year, finished up over $600 million. This year, shooting for $1 billion. You do not sell that much product unless it's really working and people are talking about it. So
Right.
I believe everybody falls on a scale somewhere between 1 and 10. And just kind of let whoever invited you here tonight, let them know where you're at. 1 is, I don't like bald guys. I don't like stem cells. I wouldn't take this even if it was free. Hopefully that's not you. 10 is, this looks really great. I want to use these patches, and I got a bunch of kids, whatever. I got people I want to tell about this. I want to do the premium. So hook me up with that. That's 20 sleeves. You're getting them for the lowest price there. Best value, $87 a sleeve. And by the way, these are all one-time orders, okay? So if you do the 535, the advance, it's a one-time deal, and you get set up as a brand partner wholesale, and then every sleeve you buy after that is only going to be $99. So we can set you up on your auto ship, and it'll default a month out, and then you can start it whenever you want, but that'll keep sleeves coming. Because what will happen, even if you're single, you're going to want to loan some sleeves to people. I'm telling you, we've just seen it happen. So we recommend the advanced or above, but if times are tight, or I get it, it's Christmas, all that, or maybe you're just not sure, you can do the core, and you'll get 3 sleeves for $295, okay? So any of these are good. Just let whoever invited you, let them know what order you want to place, and go ahead and place it.